Hey guys, welcome to our review of Jordan Peele's latest horror movie, Nope. Uh, and this one is actually, if you've seen the trailer, I liked that first trailer that revealed nothing.
Yeah.
There was a ton of speculation on what this film can be. That kind of ruined a little bit of it because some of those speculation was really cool ideas. But it turns out that this is a science fiction horror film. If you've seen some of the later trailers, you would know. And it stars Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, and Stephen Yeun as basically residents of an isolated town who witness a mysterious and abnormal event and then attempt to capture video evidence of an unidentified flying object, what we call over here a UFO. I'm going to kick it to you guys. Do you think it's worth going and seeing Jordan Peele's latest horror in theaters?
I would say I wouldn't run out and go see it.
Oh, okay.
I did like it, but not as much as other people, I guess. This was kind of like in the beginning, it was kind of a slow, it was kind of long. I wouldn't even call it a slow burn. It's not a slow burn.
I knew motherfuckers were going to say that because it is 131 minutes. So that's 2 hour, 10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I thought you would get some kind of character development or something, but
that's what we kind of get.
Barely, not a lot.
Okay.
But
well,
it was a little bit long in the beginning, and then I was kind of underwhelmed with what happened.
Interesting. Okay, I think we have differing opinions then. What about you, Alex?
I wasn't super hot on this movie. I think this was kind of poorly advertised. I liked the first trailer a lot because there was a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second trailer kind of gave away the whole movie.
It did.
And then, so you go into this movie, and the movie does...
There is a twist, though. Even if you've seen the trailer, don't assume that you know everything.
Yeah, and this movie starts out pretty slow, but it starts getting really interesting, and then it gets really interesting, and holy shit, does it shit the fucking bed at the end of the movie. To the point where it's like, how many points do I take away from something? I mean, it's like a sports player, like he has an amazing game all game, and the buzzer beater, and he just throws it in the stands. It's dumb. It's fucking dumb. And so, like, this movie ends, and it's just... I was just like, what the fuck is this? And there's some cool stuff happening, and they built up some stuff that kind of really didn't go anywhere. And like we're getting really there's really interest. There's amazing shots. He has great shots. And he builds this amazing atmosphere, and there's really cool characters in there. And then a lot of them just kind of
some great performances, I think. One of the issues I will say, I don't know if I'm just getting old, but Daniel Kaluuya, I couldn't understand him. He doing the cowboy thing. He just say one or two damn. Right? It's like, what? What did he say? I need some subtitles up in here. And even that gentleman, what's the guy with the raspy voice?
You don't recognize him?
What is his name, though? I never knew his name.
He's from The Crow, and he's from Robin Hood. And
I know him, but I don't know his name. He's like a cinematographer, filmmaker, and sometimes I couldn't understand him. I'm like, fuck, man, if I ever rewatch this, I need some subtitles on, because there's a few lines there that I didn't quite... Deep voices under their breath, kind of not really caring that they're being filmed. Nobody's enunciating. Pronunciation helps from time to time. But okay, yeah, I see both of your points. I agree with both of your points, really. However, I think I liked it probably the best, as kind of seems to be the pattern here. Mainly because I think it's an interesting idea on sci-fi. It's an interesting twist with UFOs that I had not really considered and ended up liking. It is what I would call a slice of life movie, which means you're really going to be seeped into the day-to-day going-ons and happenings of what it would be like to try to capture a UFO on a ranch. So in the first act, boy, is it long. Like I said, I do think it is a little overly long because there are some scenes that could be cut out so we can get to that fascinating part quicker. I'm not sure why Jordan Peele felt the need to do this, did y'all notice this Quentin Tarantino storytelling where he's got Ghost, and then he does Lucky,
Clover and
the
stuff, yeah.
Clover, and then Jean Jacket, which is the names of the horses that they are taking care of on the farm. And they're using that as a plot device to kind of, tell the story in out of order or in somewhat order to make it slightly more interesting. I'm not sure if that was necessary. This is just trying to put a spin on it. But overall, like Alex said, great shots, great performances, a unique idea, but I think it doesn't quite hit. In my opinion, it's not scary. That's the problem.
Yeah,
right.
It was marketed as horror, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's
but,
the problem.
That's another
And it's
thing.
more,
It
for me, it's more like a
thriller.
interesting thriller spin on
Yeah.
UFOs. As it's definitely a spin on UFOs. We won't spoil it. We'll talk about that in the spoilers. But if you're a fan of sci-fi, if you're a fan of thrillers, if you're a fan of, different takes on things and unique ideas, I think this was creative enough that I think that you should go out and see it. Now, granted, that's with the caveat that it's not as good as
Us and Get Out.
Us and Get Out. Yeah, it's not as good as those two. I think this is behind
Correct.
those two. So, yeah, it's
Can't really spoil much on
kind
this
of
one,
hard
yeah.
to
Yeah,
talk
yeah, it's a
about.
hard one to talk
let
about.
me see. What did you guys think about some of the subplots, Alex?
Some of them were.
Like, for example, Stephen Yoon's cowboy subplot.
It's interesting because this one is not as direct as like Get Out as far as the subtext of his movies, because sometimes, especially with Get Out, it's like this is what it is. And then Us was a little bit more muted. This one maybe even more so, but he does have a theme that goes through the whole thing. And there were they were building towards some really cool things, and then it just kind of petered off, and I wanted to see more I wanted to see more from a lot of the things that he was. The middle of this movie, there's so much cool shit happening, and then it just goes away.
I can't wait to get to the spoilers to see where you're talking
Yeah.
about specifically.
Yeah.
I see what they're going for. I know what I think is a lot of the audience is going to say. Some of the audience, not a lot of the audience. Some of the audience is going to find, I found it slow. I found it boring at the beginning. And it's like, to me, I am used to slow burns because I'm kind of watching A24, and this does have a slow setup, but it gets going. It gets interesting. I promise you it gets interesting. Now, whether you appreciate the ending or not, you're probably going to differ between me and Alex. And there are some subplots that I thought was, why did we open the film with that particular scene? You know what I mean? There's some bad CGI with some. I don't want to spoil it because in the trailer they make this shot look different. There's bad CGI with a particular animal. And I'm just like, it's weird. Like, you needed more practical effects with this particular animal. And they tie this in, and I get what they're going for. They're trying to talk about predators and the hubris of maybe, not only humanity, but like the Hollywood industry as well, of thinking that they can tame, wild things and
Man's
stuff.
control
So-
over nature. and
yeah,
how-
man's control over nature is definitely. What is it? The 14 plots. There's man versus man, man versus nature. This is definitely man versus nature. So I liked that. I like that aspect of it. But yeah, overall, I felt like while some of the comedy worked, it didn't have as thick of an atmosphere as some of his previous films. And I don't know if that's because the premise of the UFO, or he really needed to go hard in getting the story started sooner, I think.
Yeah.
If the intriguing parts started sooner and we had more with that, then I think it would have been more effective. I actually counted it. There was a jump scare, or there was like a fake out, and then a fake out, and I was like, there was 3 fake outs in a row before then we catch our gears and we go. And I'm talking in a row. So I'm like, oh, what is going on here? I don't remember. So we'll talk about that in spoilers, but it was a highly anticipated film. You got obviously with a title like Nope. when they use that line in the movie, it is appropriate. And they're like, nope, I'm out of here. And I said the same thing out loud. The audience really enjoyed it. So it kind of paid off in that sense. But I wish it was a little scarier and got to the interesting bits a little sooner. I thought the ending was all right. I don't think it was terrible.
I think it's bad.
Bad, yeah. We'll
I
talk
was
about that
disappointed.
and disappointed, yeah. It was all right. So I guess you could say I'm kind of disappointed because
Disappointed.
We're going to talk about it because like
Yeah.
this movie was
Yeah.
presented as one
Sure.
thing and it's something completely different, which is fine. And it was really, really successful as that different thing. So even
Yeah.
the trailers and stuff try to kind of fake you out. And I was like, oh, cool. This is where we're going with this movie.
that's why it should have left it with the first trailer.
Yeah.
If it left it with the first trailer, would you have felt misled?
No, because I don't have a problem with it being misled. Like the problem I have is like I think that the ending to this movie is straight up bad.
Okay.
So we'll
All right,
talk
well, let's
about it.
get to it. Let's
Yeah.
go to final verdicts now, then, since it's difficult to elaborate.
First act for me was still kind of slow. I get it's for me. It didn't feel like a slow burn. I wanted it to kind of ramp up a little bit quicker, kind of tighten it up. The acting was great. I loved Kiki and Daniel. They did a great job in their performances. Some of the things I didn't get, some of the subplots. We'll talk about that in spoilers. But super disappointed with the end.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the 6.
Okay.
Still enjoyable watch, but I would wait.
Man, I don't even know how to put into a score because I mean I think this movie was like really, really humming, and I was getting really excited because I
Which
liked
act?
I mean, in Act 2, it was really, really started to build up into cool things. All these pieces are coming together. It feels like everything is going interesting ways, and then I get to this ending point that just kind of undoes all of the good things that they had built for. So it's like, how do I? Because it's like I'm like, man, this movie's like 8. Like, could even if it really ends strong, like 8 or 9, and then it does something that it does leaps in logic doesn't make any goddamn sense. It breaks its own universe's rules. Like, there's all these things that, and it just kind of everything ends. And
Wow. I cannot wait to get the spoilers.
and so like
'Cause
how
I
like
need
how
to
like
know
it
how it did
truly does ruin like all of the things it built
I
up.
can agree
for.
with you that it kind of boom stops short, and you're like, I want a little bit more. But breaking its own rules, okay.
Yeah,
all
so I think I'm gonna go with the 6 because I do think that there's some really amazing parts in here. There's some really if you're a big Jordan Peele fan, you're probably gonna love it because it's very much his style. But this movie turned into something different, and then you have an expectation and you're excited about how it's gonna end, and then when it does something that, in my opinion, it was a waste. It almost felt like a waste of time. It's like, man, I sat through 2 hours, and this is how you want to end the movie.
Ouch, yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the 6.
Let me see real quick what he's done. So we had Keanu in 2016. That wasn't a horror, but and he didn't even direct that. It was just written and produced. Then there was Get Out, Black Klansman, but he didn't direct or write that one either. That was just a producer. Us. Candyman, though he wrote it and produced it, didn't direct it. So really, the only ones he directed: Get Out, Us, and Nope. So definitely, and I think it goes Get Out, Us, and Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if y'all are at 6,
No pressure.
I think
Just whatever
I
you
am.
want.
Honestly, from the way you spoke about it, I'm surprised it got that high, and that's because you think it was shot well and acted well. And
Yeah, because when
has
it was
an
going, I was like,
interesting-
okay, I'm intrigued with
Yeah.
what's going to
I
happen
thir-
next. But then,
yeah.
again,
So-
disappointment set in.
And I enjoyed the majority of this movie. It's just the ending kind of like betrayed all the things that it done. So
And that often happens in horrors, man. Horrors are so hit or miss on that ending. You have to nail an ending in a horror because so many times shit can be completely ruined. For me, it wasn't completely ruined. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's good. I think Get Out is like, really, really good. 9, 10 territory. Us is, I think we reviewed that one. I forgot what I gave it, like 8, 9, something like that. This one is 7 for me. So, I recommend you see it in theaters. Joe said if you're into sci-fi and spins on UFOs, if you're looking to be scared out of you're looking for it to be the next Get Out, you are gonna be disappointed. So yeah. Stick with us in the spoiler section so we can talk to you
Yeah.
exactly about what it is. Okay,